let's begin. I actually love your chart. It's really fascinating. And obviously, we're going to address the forecasting and literal things that are happening for you in 2026 as you requested in these particular areas of life, career, finances, relationship, and home, 100%. And I would also, in order to like anchor that analysis, I would also like to dip in and out of your natal chart, including the harmonics, and see what lands for you, because obviously it's all connected. Let me verify that your ascendant is 816 Aquarius.
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. I know you mentioned Aquarius, so I want to show you a few things that are really fascinating to me. Let's just start with the forecasting 100%. So we're looking at your solar arc tri-wheel, and there are a few things that stand out to me in 2026 for you. And some of them are happening now. Some of them are more towards the end of the year. What is waning is Mars-Saturn. And so you can see that there is converse solar arc Mars conjunct your Saturn in the fourth house. And then we have solar arc Saturn is conjunct your natal Mars. And basically, that was probably in play, I would say, most of 2025, and is now waning. And there's like a new sense of adventure emerging. Mars Saturn is not adventure. Mars Saturn is chores. And so, like,
Yeah.
really doing what you need to do in your home, for your family, for your own health, and for your own, like, kind of everyday reality, potentially your job. It's just chores, 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 chores. Now, for you, I think that you are very malleable as a human being because of all the stuff that I was looking at in your natal chart. But what does not align with this whole chore energy is your adventurer nature, which is probably the most dominant part. It's way more, it's so strong. It's one of the most dominant parts of like your whole chart is to do that adventure situation. How are you feeling about this so far?
Oh, so true, Clarissa. I have always been looking out for an adventure. It's kind of actually really manifested last year because after raising my daughter, now she loves being at home and she's going to take over the home. And we got a motorhome so I could go adventure. So I've always been that way. But my daughter got me grounded at home for, raising her a lot. But I still always would go away on adventures. I always had an RV. And so, yeah, 100%. Freedom and
Oh
adventure.
my gosh. I let that give me body chills. Thanks so much for sharing, and congrats on your upcoming adventure life and your RV.
Yeah.
And that completely aligns because I don't know what you were doing in 2025 to like establish that, but like her taking over the home and stuff like that. But like your adventure, I'm just so excited about it. I'm excited about the freedom and liberation that you will receive at the end of the year. Let's talk a little bit about the adventure, though. I just want to show you where I spotted it in your natal chart. We
Yeah.
are looking at your natal direct midpoint structures in your first harmonic, your natal chart, and you've got Jupiter conjunct Neptune Pluto at 39-minute orb, which is pretty strong. And Jupiter Neptune is automatically an adventure because it travels. It travels, it's interested in foreign cultures, foreign concepts, people, ideas, all of it. It just wants to know and it wants to experience, and it will go far away from where it's born. It could eventually relocate far away from where it's born
Mhm.
to get a taste of that. And it really kind of, that whole exposure to foreign things shapes you in such a deep way. Like, it profoundly expands your character, your sense of self, what you feel that you can do and accomplish in your life and world. It's just such like a fundamental force for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's what's returning in 2026 is that feeling. I'm going to show some other stuff to you though.
Okay. While you're digging that up, my
Yes.
daughter's father is from a foreign country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
We didn't stay together. There, big story there, but yeah. Uh, her father is from NZ, New Zealand. So,
Wow, cool.
mhm.
Always wanted to go there. That's so cool. So yeah, okay, case in point, that's one of I'm sure 5 trillion examples in your life on so many levels, which is very cool.
Yeah.
I want to show you some other stuff too that's like kind of like that travel stuff. And it's not just travel, it's mostly adventure energy, and it's very specific
Hmm.
type of adventure. You're also a high 37. You can see the 37 octave is coming out with your natal direct midpoint structure, Mercury conjunct your Sun Saturn midpoint at 2-minute orb, which is so, so strong. The 37 part of it is the adventure part, which I'll explain in a second. The Mercury Sun Saturn is something different. It's really analysis, and it's an analytical mind that's constantly taking in everything. I mean, I'm telling you, like, everything. Like, you can just be out in a park and looking at a rock and being like, oh my gosh, I wonder what the characteristics and the nature of this rock is. Like, really, like, and it's so really like it's highly, the stimulus is everywhere, and it really,
Yeah.
this energy, like, really focuses, and like it's so into it is what I'm trying, like it's so curious about the fundamental nature of everything, every being that it comes into contact with, is because it's a sun thing. Sun Mercury Saturn means that you can also impart this information to other people in a way that allows them to understand it easily, that allows them to compute what is going on. So there's like, I can go on and on about this. Actually, I feel like we only like cut the surface of what this kind of energy is, but let's focus back on the 37 part of this. 37th harmonic is adventurous because basically it it explores dangerous territories typically, and it doesn't fear death. Like, it'll be all up in the
Right.
Himalayas, like, oh, like the last dredges of the Arctic before climate change. God bless. Like, I wish we weren't experiencing this, but like, you be the first person on Mars. Like, hey, let's get like, it's
Yeah.
really, and really, to like feed the curiosity and really understand
Yeah.
the fundamental nature and orientation. So does this make sense to you?
No, 100. Oh, yeah. And that's absolutely true. I don't fear death. And in fact, like, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a party over there because there is a lot of people that I know who have passed. Like, I know a lot of people anyway. And because I'm always adventuring and I always have connected and I connect with all kinds of people and I find ways to connect and I find ways to connect us all together. And then when it comes to, I, found this more spiritual through all my hardships because I didn't grow up that way, and I'm just okay with death, like, and okay with that. I know it's just, the soul has to everybody has their soul contract. So,
I love. Oh my god, Diana, that's so cool. I love your chart. I see the spiritual stuff too. We're not really talking about that today, but
no,
it's
that's okay.
in your mid. Yeah, it's here. You see the astrology here and the spiritual stuff. Saturn, Neptune would be like more meditation and kind of like older spiritual traditions. Mercury, Neptune is the astrology. Let's talk about the adventure stuff though, because we're in that epoch of Mars, Saturn, just like finally being free of chores. Like,
Oh,
finally,
yeah.
and
It's been a slog, I'm telling you,
yeah.
with trying to shift gears with my career and I tried other stuff to interject other things into getting, to be a full-time consulting astrologer. I also have empowerment coaching and, informed with trauma is what that program was about, and emotions. So, yeah, that's my working with people and helping them guide them through these like major transitions and transformations that we're in right now and all this energy. And so I feel that's going to shift because yeah, it's not been an easy few years. Lots of things, lots of studying and not very much adventure. So with all that air
Right.
fire last summer, I don't know, something just came over me and I'm like, "We gotta change something up here," and I won't get into all the details, but we got this motorhome and I got in it, and it was all through, like, June, July, August, September, up until October, and yeah, there I was, just went here, went to go see these friends, went to go visit that family, went to go all
Oh,
kinds of places just to have an adventure.
I love that. Thank
Yeah,
God,
it was
finally.
so much fun. I didn't do very much work, but I had so much fun.
Yeah, who cares about the work? The fun is the most important part. I'm so glad we got to experience that because it's just so fundamental. Like if you can do the work, you can do a lot of things. You're a very versatile person, like we talked about earlier at the beginning of this session. If your sense of adventure is not fed, you might as well just kick the bucket. Like it's really not healthy for you
Yeah.
to not be like
No.
on your way to do whatever.
Yeah.
That is in terms of like all kinds of changes, particularly we're talking about relationships, career, finances, and home. This kind of okay, let's try to address all of them. I want to show you the aspect that I'm talking about all this freedom stuff about. So you have converse solar arc, Uranus will be trine your moon on December 13th, 2026, as the tail end of the year. And
Mhm.
so we have here, we've got a seventh house situation, and we've also got an 11th house situation. That actually hits both career and all of your relationships. And particularly how it hits career, seventh house is certainly the house of significant contracts, relationships, marriage, all that. It really is. It's the house of open enemies, all that kind of stuff. But it's also the house of expertise as a consultant, and it's that's why doctors and lawyers and whatever are seventh house people, because they are contracted for a short period of time or whatever for their inimitable expertise. And so anyway, long story short, Moon Uranus is freedom. Like Moon Uranus is actually, I think, a little bit hard to explain for me because, and particularly in solar arc, I don't care what I don't think the moon and sun are that different. The luminaries are not like the moon is not hidden. I know that people say that it's inside. It's not it's outside too. So anyway, long story short, like I had a sun Uranus via solar arc, and it was the beginning of a birth of self and being that is almost impossible to verbalize. Particularly, like, Sun Uranus is a little different because Sun Uranus is, I think, more like the physicality of the body and, like, all these little synapses going off, and, like, a
Mhm.
different Moon Uranus is distinct because it is moon is very social, so it's like who and how you interact with whatever. And so there's a freedom of being around your consultancy practice and around whom you are consulting with. Basically, I feel like there's a hella inspiring people on the way. You probably already have, a good group of friends who may do similar work as you and I. That's about to expand like 5 million%. By the end of the year, I want to show you some like straight up. I like this year for you. It's certainly less of a slog. I'll show you the listing, but I want to show you another. I think things like really, really pick up and integrate in kind of a dream way and a potentially ideal way for you towards the end of the year. Like November, December, they're like really hot points. The whole year looks pretty decent though, if I'm honest, but I want to show you another hot point or whatever. You've also got sun. Solar arc sun is going to be trying your midheaven on December 12th, 2026. And so we have the same houses actually. We have the same
Oh,
different planets, different placement or points, same houses. Like I really see this like as a huge expansion for you, for your friends, your networks, your social groups, your clients, etc. But it's because of the nature of the planets and points, it's in the direction that you want to go, right? Like it's the freedom of expression that you are seeking with your relationships, your practice, your clients, all of it, your career, all of
Oh, I
it.
love
How
it.
do you feel about this?
Good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't it? It's so cool.
Thankfully, that's on the way. Good thing I didn't have you read in like 2023. Different years. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I
so
could feel the shift
curious.
for sure.
Good. And I mean, because it must feel way lighter, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It really did. It really started to feel way lighter. And I had to do it in really bizarre Uranus kind of ways to make things happen. But I just feel like that's what I needed to do. I had to go outside the box. I couldn't do it the traditional way, and I'm not traditional. And so, yeah, and I mean, lots of people they work and lots of people are really wrapping up and they're not at 65 yet because we're in such a changing world. And for me, it was like I had to transition my career or my life, my identity completely. And while Pluto and
Mm,
Aquarius is really gonna,
my God.
expand that. Yeah. So my thought is just my second half of life career because I'm not
Yeah.
a retired kind of person because of my adventurous spirit. I need to connect with people. I need to talk and I want to, help people work through all this because there's so much great information to share, to help people navigate all this crazy world we're in time.
Amen. Amen. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like so, so true.
Yeah.
And it's such good work, especially now, as you said, this crazy world and time. Um, and like I want to talk to you about some other stuff to your points that you just brought up that I think are really from your natal chart that I think are really important to speak to. So you're a high 55. These are like your highest harmonics of them all. And you're also a high 2 and a high 17. You've got 5 and 11 too. So, like, basically 55th harmonic, typically, according to research, composers have it. Like musicians and composers who
Mm.
like literally comprise whatever piece, right? Like compose from ground up. So anyway, for you, reinvention, invention, composition, because that's what 11 and 5 are. They're both different kinds of expressions of invention in the natural forces of nature. The fifth harmonic is a little bit more chill, like it goes on its own pace. It's exploratory, it's creative, it's fun. It's like I don't know if the fifth harmonic is sweet. I don't want to use that word, but it's kind of just like a little more gentle. The 11th harmonic
Mhm.
is not gentle. The 11th harmonic is intense. It's exciting. It's cutting edge. It's like life or death. We're going to jump out of this plane. And there's good and bad things about that. Anyway, long
Mhm.
story short, they're kind of different. They're related in the way that they create life. They start from something that has no precedent just with kind of different styles. And so anyway, I can see you being different Diana in like so many fundamental ways, so many times over your whole lifetime. And so this being kind of like a new retirement career is also fundamental to yourself. Fifth harmonic people typically should work for themselves. They should be entrepreneurs and have their own business because they get bored. Like they need to have like
Bored. Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I couldn't ever be in the like I mean, when I was young, I even demoted myself to a job that I could like go run files back in the day when files were paper and go run files. So I didn't have to sit behind a desk. And if I'm supposed to answer the phone, I would get up and walk away. Like I just couldn't not, like I mean, it's not like I can't sit and concentrate because sometimes I do for hours and write, but it has to be, yeah, directed.
Yeah,
I just need to run my own ship. I know this, even in my long time career, I did, and they loved it. So, yeah. And I had the
I love it
freedom of,
too.
I just worked out of my truck and out of my home and go out to the field. And cause I worked like in, industry in coveralls in the bush and
Mm.
had to do reports and sampling and all that and chemical. So
Oh my god, I love
yeah,
that. I love that. So that's like that's inherent variety even in that kind of like more corporate career. There's like that switching, which is like really I thanks for sharing that because that's like definitely this. In a way, and like the science of it was very fifth harmonic, and the reporting and that analysis is that midpoint Sun, Mercury, Saturn from your natal
yeah,
chart, and all. This is cool. I can see also. I want to leave you with these other two harmonics really quickly. You're also high 2 and 17. And so this is I think, really beautiful in the reflection of who you are as a consultant. Basically, two is the opposition aspect. All it means in harmonics is with others. And so if you're a high two, that whole like relationships are just way more important than maybe somebody like me who do not have like I do not have two. I do not have nine. Also, you're a high 17. 17th harmonic is the function of empathy in the universe, but empathic empathy, empathy as empaths. So picking up on everybody's feelings, emotions, experiences as if they lived in your own body, no distinction or separation between thought, feeling, and experience. And so this is like going into the grocery store and like crying and like why because the cashier was sad, something like that, like it's
yeah.
you have like
That's interesting. My
yeah.
daughter has that more than me, I feel, but
Mhm.
I just know things, right? And
You
it's
just
that,
know.
I mean, yeah. Neptune in Scorpio in the 10th house in my natal chart, and the Pluto in the 8th, I guess I just, and the air trine, I just know things. But then I would kind of go there and people sometimes don't want to hear it. But if I do it in my work, it's good. Then I don't want to fix everybody around me, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if this is like fixie. I feel like there's different I feel like the fixie element is back with that Sun, Mercury, Saturn in the 7 times 8 in the 56 harmonic. I feel like the
Hmm.
just knowing you already hit some placements in your natal chart. I was reading from your 17 only. So it's fascinating cuz
Yeah,
the
that's
17
so
just
cool.
I'm sorry, cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say how I just love the harmonics and how it then just it validates all of the, you know, stuff as well, right? In a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause it's all connected. Like, harmonics are
Yeah.
of your natal, and like, it just depends on how you read. I find it just easy to feel what 17 feels like. You know what I mean? Versus thinking about like kind of like the placements and the
Right.
potential social implications of blah blah blah. What does the 17
Yeah.
feel like? And boom, like it lives for you.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I feel like I feel like I could talk to you for 5,000 years seriously, but just in general, like to
Yeah.
answer your questions again, like most significant changes in career, finance, relationship, and home, like bring it on home is just like your ability to be free and your consultancy practice picking up, you're wandering. We haven't gone here in our session yet, I don't believe, but we're in your consultation chart and you are represented by Venus in this consultation chart, which is down here in your third house ruled by fourth. What's fascinating though is that you have Saturn and Mercury in your first house, which in a consultation chart is really, really critical. Anything in the first house or rising. When you've got Saturn in the first house consultation chart, Saturn typically speaks to doubt or anxiety. And then so we have two things too, right here. We have Mercury, and Mercury is basically in two houses because it's ruled by the second house, earned income value, finances, your job. And so this would maybe indicate having doubts about your job, potentially your authority and decisions, and diversifying in the way that you are and that you have been. And but then the Venus part of the chart is saying, I'm ready to go. Like there's a lot, there's
Yeah,
so like
so true. Yeah,
so all that
absolutely.
relates to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I feel completely, totally ready to go. And where the doubt kind of creeps in is basically changing the way that I do work, like the marketing and the, social part, like the social media part of it. I have no problem connecting. So my friend, she hosts summits and events. And so I've gone on those and then, so then I get some connections through that. And I'm just get
Ugh.
so excited. I dive so deep in their charts and we have a session and it's awesome. But yeah, it's just now expanding that into it being my full-time work because I'm kind of was doing some extra stuff with, markets and that kind of thing over the last couple of years, but I don't want to do that anymore because now I have the motorhome. So that would tie me to sticking around. And it was good because they got me, I would just go fill in and I'd adventure that way. But I want to, yeah, bring the consulting practice full on so I can do it on my adventures, from my RV, wherever I am. And yeah, away we go.
Away we go, 100%. And it's so fascinating
Hmm.
too because like the Venus is in your third house, ruled by fourth, but like away we go. Third house is just wandering. This whole out axis,
Yeah.
the third nine axis, it's like wandering, but
Yeah.
third is like more wandering from your straight up RV.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And like you're already
Well,
there, which is, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just said that this summer because we went to a festival and we hadn't been in about 6 years, some friends and I. And they're like, "Oh, Dash, she's always looking to, like go do her own thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a wanderer. I
Yeah.
am just a wanderer, and it has nothing to do with, you. I would never stay with the group." I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go check out this or wander over here." Yeah, so
That's
true.
hilarious. Okay, so there's a few I wanna give you timing from the consultation chart around, like, everything that you just shared. The marketing thing, the, like, totally segueing into what you're doing so that you can wander in the RV. In terms of the marketing situation, I'm getting just over 4 weeks in horary timing, um, as, like, a focus on, I suppose I would say this is absolutely having everything to do with marketing because it's Mercury and Gemini and it's related to your second house, like value expression. I don't know where you're at with marketing, like in terms of a brand kit, in terms of, your website, whatever, like all these kind of, there's just something to do here. Let me try to I want to read the Dwada Samsa and the Decadent because I want to see if there is kind of, like immediate w- direction on what the astrology wants you to focus on. So we have a Libra decanate and the Dwada Samsa for 1147 Gemini is also Libra. So it's like a double Libra. And so what that speaks to me, sixth house, I feel like is potentially hired help in regards to this whole marketing thing. Um, what's fascinating to me is that that could have also been reflected in seventh house, like hired help, even though sixth houses, both of these could be hired help for different reasons. We were talking about the consultancy and whatever. Like sixth house is like, I would say more long term hired help,
Mm.
especially like because we have the second and the sixth house. I would consider if you have the budget for it, like I would consider straight up hiring an employee to do marketing, even if it's like 500 bucks a month or something. There's something about it that like it's a good, basically whatever you choose, I respect human to human, you're a brilliant person and the astrology is encouraging you to set aside the budget and or really invest in having somebody employed to do your marketing. How do you feel about that?
And yeah, that would be great. And actually, that might just initiate things. My daughter, actually, she is got a lot more earth and she's kind of all about that. And she has it
Mhm.
on her vision board to want to help as well. So I wonder if it could be her to, you know, ground things down to help make that happen just because of her skill set. She does audio visual and all kinds of things.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that if it were actually your daughter, just because of the nature of, well, for the sixth house, this is freaking me out in the best possible way. The sixth house also Venus. It's also Venus. So the
Yep.
first house of your business and you, and then the sixth house of the potential employee
Yeah.
is here. Basically, long story short, I do think that it is potentially your daughter or somebody like who was already in the family. So yes. Um 100%, which is like really exciting and cool because you don't have to look that far for the support. Like it's already literally in house.
Right. I do know I need someone though for sure to ground me down. And I also have a really good friend, right, who does events and stuff like that. So, she's helped connect me a little bit as well. So, yeah, I feel I need that assistance to move things along and keep me grounded into what, and then just so I could just do what I want to do, which is the one-on-one consultations, right? Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. I've been doing like the business stuff of my business for the first time of my whole career in the past 2 to 3 years, and it
Yeah.
is time consuming. I am so blessed to have the support that I have. But if I did not have social media support, like I did it by myself for a while and I was going nuts. And I'm already
Yeah.
busy, I already have stuff to do and stuff like that. And so that having that support is just such a blessing for me and for you too. Like if you read the Dwada Samsas of the fourth house, which is basically it's the ruler of Venus, of course. And Venus is all
Mhm.
the same. Like the Dwada Samsa, the decanate is the same for 150 Leo. So let's look to the fourth house to get kind of more information. And
Mhm.
the Dwada Samsa and decanate on 1147 Leo is Sag both times. And so it's 348. Like what this is saying to me is just, it's kind of almost like a very simplistic message, which is like dead it, Diana. Just put the damn money down. Like, so you don't even have to think about it. Because the four and the
Yeah.
eight, the deadening of those processes of those houses so that you can be free to wander in the third. Like that is the main goal. So yeah, very like
Yeah.
specific, cool. And also look at all of this. Like if we just look at your consultation chart, most of the stuff in your consultation chart is below the horizon. So most of it is like really inner and internal and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, that to me speaks to another potential read, which is like the universe wants you to have all this time to do all the personal stuff and reflect and all the
Mm.
things that you actually want to do internally, and marketing takes a lot of time. So yeah, debt it, put
Yeah.
the money down, get people on it, like boom. And for in terms of like hiring and really getting somebody on it and starting and like doing your marketing, let me get a horary timing on this Venus. So it is in a cadent house in a fixed sign. There is no time, unfortunately, for this.
Mm.
So it can start anytime. Whenever you have the
Okay.
budget, whenever you have, yeah, like there's really kind of like no limit on it. So how are
Yeah.
you feeling about this session? Has it answered your questions at all? What's coming up for you?
Oh, yeah, it's just fascinating, and it's just completely, again, different language, as much astrology as I studied, it's so cool. It's so cool to validate it in that way, and I love it that you can pinpoint things so, clearly too, and bring in the horary and, that, just all the, validation is awesome, Clarissa. Yeah, fascinated. Like I said, I've always kind of wanted to bring that in after I saw you the first time years ago, but yeah, maybe one day. I hope that, we can meet again, maybe in your school. Well, mind you, I'm doing the nodes course, so I already am in it. So yeah.
Yeah, you
So
are already in
yeah.
it. Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
you want to like advance to like hyper nerd with harmonics, I
Yeah.
got you. And I'm like very
Okay.
grateful that